The Swiss prosecutor's office on Wednesday demanded a 20-month suspended jail sentence for Michel Platini and ex-president of FIFA Sepp Blatter, accusing them of defrauding football's governing body. Blatter and Platini are being tried over a 2 million Swiss franc (£1.6 million) payment in 2011 to the former France captain, who by that time was in charge of European football's governing body UEFA. The prosecutor's demand is more lenient than he could have asked for, a maximum of 5 years in prison if found guilty. Only their behavior with regard to criminal law counts, said prosecutor Thomas Hildebrand, leaving out any link to football politics. The prosecution accuses Blatter of having signed off an invoice for 2 million Swiss francs presented to FIFA by Platini in 2011, almost 9 years after the end of his work as Blatter's advisor. Giving evidence at the start of the trial last week, Blatter said he had struck a gentleman's agreement with Platini to pay him the money. Platini was employed as an advisor to Blatter between 1998 and 2002. They signed a contract in 1999 for an annual remuneration of 300,000 Swiss francs, £250,000, which was paid in full by FIFA. But they claimed that they had agreed to pay an additional 700,000 annual francs, £580,000, when the finances of the organization would allow it. Hence Platini presented an invoice for 2 million Swiss francs at the beginning of 2011, signed by Sepp Blatter and presented to FIFA as an outstanding part of the salary. Hildebrand said on Wednesday in his 4.5-hour discourse that agreeing on such a sum without a written record, without witnesses and without provisioning it in the accounts was contrary to commercial practices as well as the habits of FIFA. He also dismissed the claim the signed invoice was for back pay, arguing that FIFA's finances were healthy enough in 1999. It would have had more than 21 million francs in reserves and which had ballooned to 327 million in 2002. Hildebrand said there was no reason for the delay, adding that Blatter had perfect knowledge of FIFA's solvency. When a chameleon feels threatened, it changes color. Blatter does the same thing, said Hildebrand. The trial follows an investigation that began in 2015 and lasted 6 years. The case is due to run until June 22 with both FIFA, a civil party in the trial, and the defense both due to lay out their closing arguments. The Federal Criminal Court of Bellinzona will deliver its decision on July 8. Platini, 66, is regarded among world football's greatest ever players. He won the Ballon d'Or, considered the most prestigious individual award, 3 times in the mid-1980s. Blatter, now 86, joined FIFA in 1975 and became the president of world football's governing body in 1998.